Good morning, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Sal. Thank you all so much for joining our Twitter webinar today. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can use Twitter and Twitter ads to amplify your holiday campaigns and really tap into the holiday conversation on Twitter. I know I can see that people are pouring in as I'm talking, so we're just going to take like another minute or so to let everybody kind of settle in. I want to, again, just thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm sure you are all just as busy as we are in the midst of Q4 in what has been an absolutely wild year. So thank you for taking some time to spend with us today. Um, Before we get started, I'll repeat this when we dive in, but before we get started, I just want to, if you are familiar with Blue Jeans or if you're sort of new to the platform, if you look on the right side of your screen, you'll see a little chat box. That is a great place as we're going through. If you have any comments or questions that you'd like us to address, feel free to just type them in there. We have some moderators who will be going in and pulling the questions, and then we'll be actually doing a Q&A at the end. So we'll be able to take a look at everything that you're asking and sort of go a little bit more in depth with anything that we cover or anything that you feel like you want a little bit more information on. All right, so I think it looks like we're starting to even out as people continue to come in. That's totally fine. But thank you all again for taking the time to spend with us today. So let's get started. As I said, my name is Sal Matos. I've been at Twitter for the last going on 3.5 years, and I'm an account manager. I work with advertisers of all shapes and sizes, all different levels, agency, direct, you name it. Chances are I have worked with your type of business. And just the same is my co-host for today, Sam, who works on the same team with me, working with a different set of advertisers, but the same wide variety. So we're really excited to be presenting with you today. Today we're going to be going over a couple different things as they pertain to the holiday season. First, we're going to be talking about some overall holiday insights. What is the conversation like on Twitter? People are always asking that. What are people talking about with regards to the holidays? And what's unique about the holiday season this year? We're going to talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to hand things over to Sam, who's going to talk more specifically about some of our advertising products and how you can align those with the holiday conversation. And stay tuned for that part because we've actually got an exclusive reveal of sorts of a new product that will be launching very soon that we're really excited about. That I think is perfectly timed for the holiday season. So you'll hear about it here first. And then we're going to move on to talking about just some resources that are available, how you can connect with us beyond just this webinar. And then we'll move into Q&A. As I mentioned at the very top, but for those of you who have just joined us, use the chat function. It's on the right-hand side of the Blue Jeans platform. There should be a little chat bubble. If you just click on that and type in any questions as they come up, any comments, whatever it is you want to share, just put that in there, and we have some moderators who will be going through and pulling those so we can address them at the end. So let's start off with insights. What is the conversation on Twitter? This is a question I get all year round, and the holidays are no different. Is there a holiday conversation on Twitter? Well, yes. In fact, holidays on Twitter is bustling. On average, there are 15 tweets per second about the holidays during the season. And last year alone, we saw 120 million tweets about the holidays. And that's just tweets that we can identify as being about the holidays. There might be tweets that people are saying other things where they might not use certain keywords, but that's just to give you a baseline of how huge the conversation is. Now, this year is a little bit different. I don't think this is a surprise to anyone. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the COVID-19 pandemic. 60% of Twitter users have expressed that they are nervous that their holiday traditions this year will be disrupted. Much as every other aspect of people's life have been disrupted, the holidays are usually a time where people are able to get together with their family, with their friends, have little year-end adventures, take some time off. And this year things are a little different. So we decided to do some research and sort of dig into that sentiment to see how people are, what people are feeling most concerned about. So this year, the three areas that people are most concerned about are a disruption of their usual holiday traditions, people feeling like it's going to be harder to experience joy this holiday season. 51% of people expressed this thought. And a lot of people are thinking about how can they transition their normal holiday activities into a virtual space since it's not as easy to gather safely with other people. Well, they're turning to brands. This is a perfect opportunity for you and your advertisers to put yourself in front of our users and really make your presence known as sort of an influencer of the holidays. 40% of Twitter users are open to looking to brands for help in planning virtual gatherings and in looking for ideas of ways that they can make this unusual holiday season feel a little bit more normal. One way to think about this is that throughout the COVID-19 crisis, a lot of people have expressed concern for the well-being of others throughout the year. This is a great example on the right here. But in general, people are really taking the time, while they're at home and they're not doing as much in their own lives, to think about what's going on with other people, whether that be essential workers, whether that be the fate of small businesses that they love to support in their towns. People are really expressing a concern about the current reality, not just for themselves, but for other people as well. So that's what people are talking about on Twitter. So there's an opportunity here for your brand to anticipate this sentiment and extend it through the holiday season. And you might think, is it appropriate for a brand to, kind of talk in these kind of personal ways and sort of connect with people in their personal lives? And it is. We've actually done research that shows that 74% of people on Twitter think it's important for brands to be showcasing acts of kindness during the COVID-19 crisis. Now more than ever, it is really important that brands are seen as people because they are run by people. So you want to show that humanity because while it is true that people aren't always receptive to brands sort of speaking up in very human ways, they nonetheless do want to see you as human. They don't want to see you as like a big scary company. And now is the perfect time of year to do that. Supporting others and giving to others. That's a growing topic on Twitter. So as I mentioned before, if you have an opportunity to talk about any charitable donations or any opportunities that you're doing to raise money or awareness around issues this holiday season, how are you supporting essential workers? How are you supporting your own workers if you're a larger company? These are things that you should be tweeting out and sort of catering your messaging around this year. And in fact, we've seen a 25% year-over-year increase in holiday tweets about donations during the holiday season. So again, what are those acts of kindness that you're doing, and how can you make sure that those are at the forefront of all of your messaging? Now, as I mentioned before, this is a unique time of year, and one of the big concerns that a lot of Twitter users have is about the sort of upending of their usual traditions. Are they able to go home? They can't travel. Everything's going to be virtual versus in person. And that that radically changes the way that we think about the holiday season. So out of the activities that bring a lot of joy amongst the people that we have surveyed, the top three items were all in-person activities. But the transition point is finding the perfect gift for a loved one. That's something that people love to do during the holiday season that they say sparks a lot of joy. And that's kind of the first place where you should be thinking, for most brands and most advertisers, should be thinking about how they can sort of position themselves this season, is finding the perfect gift. Brands are a top source of gift giving inspiration for Twitter users, with over 70% of Twitter users using the platform to influence what they're going to buy, whether that be finding deals, figuring out what sites they want to get, getting opinions from people that they're having conversations with on the platform already about, what should I get? What are you getting? What are you most interested in? Um, and there's sort of three main big categories that you should be that are kind of big with Twitter users. The number one is just online shopping in general. That kind of ties back to everything that we've been talking about, right? People are looking for online retailers that they can go to take care of their gift giving in a safe, distanced way. Number two, also kind of aligned with being at home, is gaming. Gaming is always huge on Twitter, but this year it's bigger than ever. And this year is also happens to be a year that there's a lot of new systems coming out. There's a new Xbox, there's the PS5, which just dropped, that I'm sure a lot of you are just itching to get back to. And then there's the Nintendo Switch as well. There's also tons of online gaming. So this is just a huge opportunity for gaming brands right now, as people are at home and looking for ways to spend their time. This is a great gift that you can share with people as well. And then if we sort of lump in department and apparel, since there is a lot of crossover here, really thinking about apparel, even though we're not going out as much as we would like to, it's still important to look as good as possible. So just thinking about those clothing brands and how you can, especially with this season change as we go into winter, everybody needs new clothes. Everybody needs to keep warm and everybody wants to look good. One thing to remember about the Twitter audience is that while the Twitter audience is extremely influential outside of Twitter, most Twitter users are people who will influence other people in terms of what they're talking about, what they're into. Twitter users themselves are actually an extremely receptive audience. They come to the platform with a mindset of wanting to seek out news, information about subjects that they care about. And so they're actually leaning into Twitter kind of as a news platform, a place to seek out information, more so than a lot of other social platforms. And so when they come onto Twitter, they're more receptive to your messaging as a brand about your products, about your services. And this applies across the board, from gaming to health and beauty to sporting goods and more. Now, to create a little urgency here, we found that 73% of Twitter users say that they will complete most of their holiday shopping by December 10th. Now, that's coming up in just a couple of weeks, about a month away. So really start thinking about how can you get activated on the platform right now? How can you get that messaging out as early as possible? Especially while people are staying at home, people have a lot of concerns about getting things on time. They can't just go to a store and pick up the items, so they want to make sure that the gifts arrive on time, that the deliveries come in, that they're timing all their purchases right. So really thinking about that end of November. There's probably no surprise with all the things like Black Friday, Cyber Monday coming up. But just really kind of eyeing that end of November, beginning of December period, that's essential to making sure that you're getting your products and your services in front of users in time for the holidays. I know that was a lot of information that I just threw at you. So before we move on to the product piece, let's just go over some key takeaways. Number one, right now is the time to share joy and positivity. I think we have all, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, this has been a year. I think that's understating it. So right now, people want the holidays to be a time of joy and positivity. So if you can align your messaging around that, what are the charitable acts that you're doing? What are the positive messages that you can share? Really make that kind of the forefront of all of your messaging right now throughout the season. Number two, people are in a gift giving mood. So this is a prime opportunity for brands that have products and services that you can share as gifts. But people are also feeling charitable. So again, remember to just think about how you can position yourself as part of the gift giving season. Number three, online shopping, bigger than ever. Again, not a surprise. We're all living through it together. But there's some things to keep in mind there, right? You want to make sure that you're putting out messaging that tells people how they can access your products and services. If you are online, where are you online? Where are your products available? Have you changed your services because you can't have in-store shopping anymore? Make sure all of that information is clear. Make sure that your shipping details are clear. Make sure that if you have any deals or anything, you're putting that at the forefront. Just make sure that while you're online centric, that you get as much of that information as you can. Last but not least, the holidays, they're coming. Time does not wait for anyone, and most users on Twitter say that they will complete their holiday shopping by December 10th. So we're just about a month away from that. So that creates a little bit of urgency on our part as marketers to make sure that we are giving users as much time as possible to see our message, to absorb it, and then to make decisions about how they want to. Now, as kind of a transition piece into the product part of this presentation, I want to share a little pro tip about our targeting suite. Now, I work, as I mentioned, with a wide variety of advertisers, but one of the most common questions that I get from the very small businesses all the way up to sort of the really big brands is how do I target on Twitter and how do I reach a specific audience that I'm going for? So we've been talking about this holiday audience that we've been surveying. We've been talking about the holiday conversation on Twitter. Okay, you've got your creatives, you got everything built out. Well, how do I reach them? So there's two targeting types on Twitter that I think that can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Now, obviously, we have keywords, interest targeting, follower lookalikes, things like that. But event targeting and conversation topic targeting, those are going to be kind of, I think, your bread and butter this holiday season. Event targeting focuses on specific events like holidays. So it's perfect for this time of year. And these are huge audiences in sizing in the millions that can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So Christmas, Thanksgiving, Cyber Monday, you name it. And then conversation topics is a little more broad. This will include everything from movies and TV shows to famous people to lifestyles. But there are some holiday conversation topics such as holiday travel, probably not as relevant this year, holiday shopping, holiday party, who are the holiday party throwers, those kinds of things. These kind of batches of audiences are already really big and should comprise the bulk of your targeting and do a lot of that heavy lifting. And then once you've added those, you can go back in and sort of add a little bit more nuance and drill down into your more niche audiences with things like keywords, interests, tailored audiences, etc. All right. So now I'm going to take a big sip of water after all that talking, and I'm going to hand things over to my teammate Sam, who's going to go over some holiday packages and products. As I mentioned, we've got that really exciting new product that you're not going to want to miss. So thank you all, and I'll see you in the Q&A.
Thank you so much, Sal, for those holiday insights. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam, fellow account manager on our customer success team with Sal. So we're going to take these holiday insights and mesh them now with some holiday packages and some core products that we've seen successful advertisers really harness and drive impact with their activations during the holiday season. And again, as a reminder, as we're going through here, don't forget that Q&A section. If there's any questions that do come up live during the presentation as we go over these products and packages, we'll be sure to address some of these as they're coming up in our Q&A session. So without any further ado, Amplify sponsorship. This is comprised underneath our Twitter Amplify product at large. And this is a one-to-one sponsorship with a premium publisher putting out brand safe content, oftentimes exclusively on Twitter. It's a great way to build brand association by pairing your brand with premium content that your audience and customers are already watching on Twitter. We have seen an exponential growth with video views on the platform. We all know video drives the majority of focal attention, so this is a great way to harness that affinity and match and drive maximum impact on Twitter during these moments where people are flocking for holiday content. It's great to drive consideration. Again, if you're looking to drive mass awareness on Twitter during these key moments, Amplify sponsorship is undeniably one of the best placements that you can think about doing. This is a one-to-one sponsorship with a premium publisher, so it's great for extending an existing partnership that you may have with a premium publisher that's on Twitter, or if you're looking to own these moments as they're unfolding on Twitter. So we have almost 1,000 premium publishers on the platform across all different verticals, namely gaming, as Sal had mentioned, which is an explosive conversational topic on Twitter, news and entertainment, as folks are turning to Twitter to see what's happening in the world, lifestyle, and sports. Now, sports takes on a virtual experience, and Twitter really is the roar of the crowd. So it's a great way to still harness these moments and align your brand with the content that's going to be most applicable. Here's a great example of one of the premium packages around the holidays that we have, our digital creator holiday packages, where you can connect with premium Gen Z and millennial holiday themed content that they're already coming to Twitter to watch and enjoy from top creators that they're engaging and putting in new content daily on the platform. These are all brand safe, and in our research, we found that there was a 48% increase in consumption around creator videos during the COVID-19 crisis. Again, this is just an example, but to give you a sense of the different tiers, the different verticals. Typically, we see this in the form of pre-roll, but Amplify sponsorships can also come in the format of branded video content, sponsored polls. So there's a lot of fun, creative, and flexibility around these packages as you're going to be activating on Twitter and harnessing that relationship with that premium publisher. Similarly to Amplify sponsorship, underneath the umbrella of Twitter Amplify, we have Amplify pre-roll. So Amplify pre-roll is where you can run your pre-roll ad with a bucket or category of premium publishers that are hand-selected either by an AIB category, the examples that you're seeing there at the bottom left of the screen. So rather than having a one-to-one sponsorship, you can really drive for scale and look to sponsor content across broader categories. Along with the AIB categories that we have, Amplify Pre-roll, we also released recently Twitter curated categories, and these are hand-selected premium publishers for specific categories. If you wanted to pre-roll across specific publishers that would fall, we have over 200. Categories include gaming, again, which we've seen explosive nature in that conversation on Twitter, sports, lifestyle, news and entertainment, etc. So great way, one, if you wanted to pair with an Amplify sponsorship, either in a teasing leading up to a high impact moment on Twitter, or evergreen to kind of have that sustaining conversation and brand awareness and association that you get throughout the holiday seasons in between your larger high impact activations on Twitter. Website cards. Our customers find wild success with website cards. Arguably one of the most popular formats to run. It's a way for you to capture that attention with your best creative image or video as you drive folks from the timeline to a landing page of your choice to take action in the moment. So this is great for middle to lower funnel, driving for that conversion. We also do strongly recommend, if you've got video content, video creative, harnessing the video website card for an unskippable moment on the timeline. We found that our video website cards deliver 2 times the click-through rate than the standard mobile video ad benchmark. And this is a result from the experience that people get on Twitter when they're engaging with your video website cards, and that from a mobile experience, what the website card does is translate your tweet almost entirely to a clickable object and clickable real estate. And if they were to click on the video component of the video website card, or the website card at large, pardon, the video continues to play at the top of the screen while the page loading occurs underneath. And what this translates to is also a 60% increase in retention of those folks as they continue to be engaged with your video content, and the page with follow-up content, whether that be the catalog or a virtual event that you're looking for that call to action, occurs on the same screen underneath, and then they're present on the page to learn more and take that action. Brand reminders. This is a format that a lot of customers have taken advantage of in creating, non-skippable moments on Twitter, as we've really seen an increase in 2020, and we expect this to not slow down. It's a great way to create a one-to-one intimate experience at scale with your customers. Now, brand reminders are often referred to as the like to remind, where people see the brand reminder in their timeline. It's either a like and or a retweet to opt in to that experience. And then within a max of 30 days, you can have a follow-up reminder tweet for more info, calling them back to the brand, calling them back to the content. And then also after that opt-in action, whether that be the like or the retweet, you also have an auto response providing more detail or more insight as far as what that reminder will be. Brand reminders are flexible as far as if you would like the like or a retweet, if you would like just the auto response with no reminder tweet or reminder tweet as well. So a lot of flexibility as far as how you wanted to configure that as well. Conversational cards. Similar to a poll, it's a way for you to drive engagement in conversations with customizable tweet buttons. Great, awesome feature of this is it actually prompts people on Twitter that are engaging with your conversational card with a tweet prompt, where they can then share to their followers on Twitter and further extend the message and scale of your campaign. This is really great as far as, again, creating an intimate experience with your audience on Twitter, whether, and calling them in to join the conversation and asking them for their insights to really launch a new conversation on Twitter. So, as Sal had noted, we are very excited to share more insight on a product launch sneak preview that has been highly anticipated this year. And without any further ado, let's take advantage for the holiday season of Carousel ads. So highly anticipated product, and we are so happy to announce that this is going to be coming to an ads manager near you in the very near future. With Carousel ads, it's a fantastic way to reach new audience and drive them to your website using multiple images or video from 2 up to 6 with a single ad and a single destination landing page URL. Again, highly recommend utilizing video content in the carousel ads, creating that unskippable movement. Great way to repurpose a catalog, or if there's a series of events that are going to be coming through the holiday season, promos, etc. This is a great way to kind of condense all of that content into a single tweet where users can explore more and then click through to take action, discover more, to sign up, take a purchase, etc. Carousel ads is just one of the core products and features that we want to highlight, as we found in our research. When you are using 3 or more unique ad formats in your campaign initiatives, this leads to a lift in campaign success. We've seen 20% lift in campaign awareness, and also lower funnel, a 7% increase in purchase intent. So whether it be Amplify sponsorship and or pre-roll or both, website cards, carousel ads, this is a great way to kind of tie in a sequenced messaged approach to also kind of tell the story on Twitter about your brand, create that buzz leading up to the holiday season, and then also have the lift as far as brand health metrics across the funnel as a result of creating the conversation and experience and building that brand loyalty. So Sal talked about the holiday insights, the trends that we're seeing unfold, where and how this holiday season is going to be very different but impactful in 2020. And we walked through just now some core products and some holiday packages. So we thought it would be fun to also talk about some creative inspiration that's tying this all together and how we can align and join and start new conversations as they're unfolding on Twitter with your audience. So as Sal noted, people are embarking into the holiday season in conversation earlier, now more than ever, considering this year. So the Lights Up Challenge, it would be a great way to, reach out to your audience and ask, how early is too early to begin decorating for the holiday season? And, conversational cards would be a fantastic way to utilize this conversation by voicing to your audience and asking them to join the conversation. Again, then prompting a tweet response that they can share with their followers on Twitter, bringing them into the conversation using the conversational challenge or conversational card. Thread the holiday cheer. So people are torn between the convenience, safety of shopping online and the feeling of shopping in person. These are two components that are at the forefront, top of mind for this holiday season. So using some creative formats beyond just the tweet to bring these two worlds together by creating rollable or threadable content that can showcase, bring the storefront to Twitter, whether it would be a promoted thread or the newly anticipated and released carousel ads that are going to be available shortly to create, multiple streams of content and bring it to Twitter. Promised myself I would not sing the title of this slide. Gift giving, as Salad noted, and self-care from brands are, people want to see brands showing acts of kindness. So what better way to harness what, may be uncommon holiday events like the treat yourself or the Friendsgiving. So this would be a particular fun way to kind of take advantage, even in small ways, to share to your audience on Twitter to make sure that they're also thinking about themselves and taking care of themselves, or a reminder to buy a gift for the loved one in the future or for their family members. Great way to harness the brand reminder for that liked reminder, like for auto response. Or, if you would like to use, the conversational card, just another way where you can join in other aspects of the conversation on Twitter and have that brand be on the forefront of that. So now wrapping up with the holiday insights, core products, holiday packages, the plethora of formats that you can tie together as you begin to tell your story or continue to tell your story through the holiday season. We did want to make sure that we were leaving you with some key resources and takeaways, much of which contained within the presentation webinar that we gave today, and also just some additional resources if you ever wanted to circle back with. And we are here to help in every way, shape, or form along the way. So the Twitter Holiday Hub on business.twitter.com for all of the holiday-themed ideas for Q4. A lot of the insights that we shared in the presentation will be there, as well as some additional tips and tricks for the formats if you're looking for a fun, creative way to activate for the holiday season. And of course, the one-to-one support from our customer success team here at Twitter. We are here to help, so please let us know. Don't hesitate to let us know if there's anything that we can do to help along the way. You can reach out to your account manager Or if you don't have an account manager, don't know where to go, you can always reach out to us at advertiserhelp@twitter.com to discuss best ad formats based on your marketing goals, help with campaign setup, after activation with optimization tips to drive for maximum reach, performance, and impact on Twitter. Or if you would like to open up an insertion order to avoid credit card limits and billing invoices altogether, so we can really look to scale the campaign initiatives that you're going to be doing for this holiday season. So at that, we'll transition over to the Q&A. Saw a lot of great questions come in. So Sal and I are going to kick things off. I'll go ahead and take the first one. How do you recommend companies adjust advertising budgets and targets around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when there is a large increase in search volume? Great question. So when we anticipate larger competitions, it is essentially important to follow the best practices for targeting and your quality score, your ad rank score, as these factors significantly impact serve and delivery of your campaign. So discuss with your account manager or reach out to us at advertiserhelp@twitter.com. There are a multitude of different functions that you can play around with when looking to activate with your campaign on Twitter in the ads UI. Either being toggling and leveraging target bid versus max bid when beneficial, reach each brand's situation, which can differ. And if you already have an IO, your account manager, or again, our team behind advertiserhelp@twitter.com, we can always add additional budget for the higher reach traffic moments to make sure that that scale is always available. Additional spend is always going to be helpful in making sure your ads reach as much audience as possible on the platform. It's a great way to ensure that you're going to be exhausting and spending through that budget for maximum impact. Custom targeting, audience development, really harnessing the different features of the quality score, whether it be the setting a sufficient bid. Automatic is going to give you your best bet as far as immediate traction at the lowest cost per action or billable action within your budget. And creative, making sure that you're using all of those best practices.
All right, I'll hop on the next one. Thank you all for sending in a lot of questions. We're going to try and get through as many as we can. So first, this next one, is Hanukkah a holiday you can target? You absolutely can. But we did just take a look actually and noted that it's in our system with the H spelling. I know there's a couple different variations of how you spell Hanukkah in the English letters. So it's the Hannuka, and this can be found. There's keyword targeting as well as conversation targeting around Hanukkah.
Great question.
Mm-hmm. And then can you share some examples of what these products look like in action? We're actually I believe we're going to be sending this back out to everyone. So there are examples in there, but you can also, again, we can't emphasize enough, reach out to your AM or advertiser help, and we can get you some more some live examples to send to you directly. And business.twitter.com also has dedicated pages on each product with full specs, examples, details about how they work. So that's a great resource for more product examples.
Okay, next question. Love this one as well. Are there any holiday season best practice for nonprofits? So similar to any other industry, we recommend creating your targeting around events and conversations that your audience would be most connected to and talking about on Twitter. The example being, Giving Tuesday as a recurring trending moment on Twitter. That would be a great example.
And then what is the release date for the carousel ads. So Santa comes early this year. Carousel ads are scheduled to be released as soon as tomorrow. So fingers crossed that they'll be launching. I think there's still a few details that are being worked out, but it should be launching as soon as tomorrow, so you can get your hands on it and start playing around with it. There are some beta advertisers actually. I've been seeing all weekend advertisers who've been using it, so and playing around with it. We're really excited about it. So please reach out to us if you have any questions or you want to start using it. One thing I did see a question about what campaign objectives you would run carousel ads on. Since we're talking about them, it is a clickable ad unit, so it can be run as a website clicks campaign, but it can also be run as an awareness campaign or an engagement campaign. Um, I'm not 100% sure if it'll run as a video views campaign, but it does support video, so it should. But again, please reach out to us and we will make sure that you are all set to go with this new product.
Next, how early in advance do you recommend launching holiday campaigns to ensure the algorithm has enough time to learn before Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Great question. Based on the research, people on Twitter are going to be completing their holiday shopping earlier, as Sal noted, by December 10th. So our recommendation would be to launch your campaigns as soon as possible. So we, one, have the opportunity to manually assist in optimizing for maximum impact, as well as enough time and data, much like with all machine learning, prediction modeling further improves and gets better with more time and data. So this can ensure that it's running through the month where everybody's going to be participating in these conversations and thinking about holiday shopping for themselves and their loved ones. And again, as a reminder, we're here to help with that optimization to assist as you further scale out your campaigns.
Yeah, and to just quickly add to that, in terms of the time, you should be thinking about like how long do you want to give your customers time to interact with your ads and products? In terms of like getting it going in our system, using those targeting options, some of those pro tips that we talked about, that'll start serving to the relevant audience like right away. So like once your campaign gets serving, and it'll start serving to that audience. We just want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to optimize, make any adjustments if you're not seeing performance where you want it, make any changes, work with us to figure out what those changes should be, and make sure that you're giving your customers enough time. And then I did see another question. I saw a question about what's the most effective way to brand a memorable domain name on Twitter for those that don't take immediate action. So I think this is, I'm not sure if this is about like handle claiming, like an @ handle or a username. Not 100% clear on this one, so please reach out to us. We will get back to you. If not one of us, one of our teammates. Advertiserhelp@twitter.com. Those are the kinds of sort of like little things that we work on every single day, whether it be handle claims or those other sort of like those not obvious product things. So feel free to reach out to us about that stuff as well.
So next, how often would you recommend refreshing creatives and tweets during the holiday to ensure you're staying relevant throughout the entire holiday season? Fantastic question. Twitter is about what's happening now. So in short, a best practice that we always recommend is ensuring that you have just fresh, new, up-to-date content that is serving within your campaign. Also, in terms of quality score or ad ranking score, recent content will be favored in the auction setting. So a best practice, we usually every 2 weeks try to go in and refresh your tweets and add new creative or A/B test different tweet copy or different formatting. If you wanted to harness a website card or the new carousel ad, all the while just ensures that you're having that fresh content that's being introduced to the campaign, and then further improving that recency, as that's a component that's going to be used when it comes to scoring your campaign. And many other best practices when it comes to helping to boost and maintain or improve the quality score of your tweets can be found at business.twitter.com. So definitely jump over there for some additional best practices as well.
And when we say refresh too, it can be small changes in your copy, slight adjustments to the card headline. It doesn't have to be a complete creative overhaul. I think a lot of times I talk to people, they get a little scared when I say you should be refreshing your creative every so often. It doesn't mean a complete creative overhaul. It just means within the Twitter platform, with those 280 characters, with those image assets that we've got, what are those slight changes that we can make to ensure that you're getting the best performance? Um, I think I actually did just get confirmation also about the carousel ads. They work with the website click, the objective, the app objective, the awareness objective and engagement objectives, and the video views objective. It is not available for pre-roll video. It's only available for our standard video views. And I think that is kind of where we want to wrap up. Just to leave you with a couple thoughts. Again, thank you all so much. We don't want to keep up too much of your time. I know, sure, a bunch of you want to jump over to the Apple event that's happening right now. So a couple things to keep in mind before we let you go. Reach out to advertiserhelp@twitter.com. Those emails will go directly to us, directly to our team, and we are eager to hear from you and answer more questions. If we didn't get it today, we definitely want to make sure that we're connecting you with the right people in the future. So please reach out. Once again, that's advertiserhelp@twitter.com. And you can always check out business.twitter.com. That's business.twitter.com for information about all the products we talked about, all of the insights, as well as the holiday hub that Sam talked about. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for us. Again, thank you all so much. This has been a crazy year, so thank you all for bearing with us and for choosing to come to Twitter and work with us. We really, really appreciate it. Again, business.twitter.com, advertiserhelp@twitter.com, and have a happy holiday season. Have a joyful holiday season. Get some rest, and we'll all see you soon.
Happy holidays, everyone. Thanks so much for coming.
Bye, everyone.